You are now tuned into the tomb of Jehovah. Play my tunes loud enough to shake the room. What's that hold up? Heard the world is in it soon. I assume that they told you they trying to dinosaur us. So now it's time to go up. The sky's falling, baby, drop that ass for it crash. The sky's falling, baby, drop that ass for it crash. The sky's falling, baby, drop that ass for it crash. The sky's falling, baby, drop that ass for it.
We're here, back. It's been a minute. Good to see everyone. Audibly.
Audibly, this is well, yeah. We don't have a soundboard yet because we can't afford one. So welcome back.
The company holiday.
Yeah.
Wish list.
All of that money that we earned from those past 2 episodes have gone straight to the CEO.
Yes.
And he has blown it all on very grandiose expenditures, traveling to Haiti, and the Bahamas and Mexico and Copacabana and all those places, you know, rich people places.
Rich people places? I love that.
Yeah, he's blowing all of our money. We don't have any money to live, but that's okay, you know, because we're doing this out of passion. We're doing this out of happiness, and
that's what matters.
That's what matters. We don't need food on our table. Anyways, welcome to the Mateo's Media Minute. We are back.
We are back after not a hiatus, but a bit of a delay.
A delay, and technically it's not even a delay because the audience doesn't even know that these recordings were spaced out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By this time, the first episode has now been released, which I'm very much so. I'm proud of us to have.
I know, and all it took was nearly half a month for it to come out, but that's okay. We all had our business and stuff, but the whole thing about it was, you know, working on it and getting it done and doing everything in the background. Just really kind of took the dedication with us both sitting down and being like, you know what, let's really get this out there and really push it out there. And the reception has been overwhelmingly positive, and very happy to see that so much has come from it in terms of how much people are liking it and how much people want more of it.
Yes, I'm very much so in that toxic mentality where, like, if somebody in my social group says like, oh, hey, that thing that you did, I peeped it out, it's really good. I can never really take it if it's like genuine, given the fact that like, oh, I know the person attached to this, and you're obviously going to want to support them. But at the same time, like, I get very hard on myself because when they say something like, oh yeah, it was great, I get almost like, yeah, but I could have done this and I could have done that better. But for the first episode, to see the reaction we've got was such it motivated us. I think to want to now really get this down on lock and have a plan set in motion. And do you want to tell them the story about how it all came together in that like couple day period when the first episode was going to be released, how the banner was made and whatnot?
Yeah, like the day that we were supposed to record, right? We had so much planned in terms of what we were going to do, in terms of how we were going to set it up. We didn't really expect to just sit down and work on the graphics as much as we did and to talk about the general scope of what we're trying to go for with this podcast, because we were already just going to record another episode. That session was going to be for episode 3. But, you know, I call it fate, call it karma. We ended up getting our stuff canceled on us. Our main interviewee, rather, we were supposed to host, canceled on us the same day. And no contact, no nothing, just straight up blocked my co-host here and never got back to him about coming onto the show, even though he was like, berating everyone about like, let me get on it, bro, let me be on it. It's just that was a very strange moment. But because of that, we were like, you know what, dude, let's just hunker down. It's already late. We don't have to record the episode. We know it's going to go into a long time. We'd much rather focus on getting out the actual episode that we have recorded and done. And so he sat down, was like, what are we gonna do? And I was like, you know what? Let's just work on the logo. And bro pulled out his iPad. The whiz kid that he is,
That's work.
got
As
to
I
work
do.
and just cranked out one of the most amazing looking logos I've seen, with so much dynamic movement and everything like that. The strokes that I saw, the amount of like care you put into every detail.
Thank you. I
I
tried.
love the texture of it. That's the best thing about it to me.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was like you said. It was a well. I mean, like I like to say, happy accident. It was moment. It was something that we weren't expecting, but it was very much so needed to. Is it weird to say that kind of felt like the final, like the moment where the Beatles became the Beatles?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where like they have it. Oh, actually, even a better example, like in the Wu-Tang show on Netflix, on Hulu, that scene where the artist finally hands them the finalized Wu-Tang logo. And it kind of felt like that, of like, this is what we needed to have, that like moment where we can see it in front of us and be like, this is real.
Yeah, it's tangible.
Yeah, it's tangible. And yeah, I really wanted to invoke that in the banner, in the logo, with the lettering. Honestly, I mean, we talked about it in the midst of, because we're working on it for what, like 3+ hours?
Yeah, it was probably
start to
like a
finish?
5 hour. I'm not gonna lie, it was a 5 hour session.
Through. I mean, from the initial sketching, line work, to then plugging it into the software.
Yeah, Illustrator I went and put it into. And by the way, I can dog on Adobe all I want. That new feature that they have for 2025, the 2025 version, where you're just able to scan an image straight into the software and get the vectors out of it.
Insane.
That was the moment where I realized, yeah, I could do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, I think that was the moment for me where I noticed, like, oh, this is going to sound weird, but like, I now have a views. Like, because it's one thing when, like, you know, you draw mostly traditional and then you move over to like Procreate.
Mm-hmm.
But it always kind of felt like that thing of it felt isolated, where whatever I make just stays within me, like within my iCloud or on my Sketchpad. But when I saw that pull up and the detail and all of it, like you said, each individual vector and the quality it came out in, it made me feel like, wow, this is actually, like, my work can actually be integrated into the project, which I hope, you know, later on down the line, or even in this episode, I can include some just doodles or something that I'm working on here on the iPad, and I can pull up for you guys to just have a little bit of eye candy.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about it. Like, I want to integrate art as much as possible into this podcast, as much as it just being audio only. You know, having something to look at, having something to visualize while we're really discussing anything and everything practically. You know, it always has a good sense of, like, you know, temporariness, but also it keeps it in the moment. Like, every episode probably will be a different sketch from my co-host here, and you know, it keeps it unique, it keeps it individualized.
Plus, it reminds you of those painting with Bob Ross. Like,
yeah,
it's oddly therapeutic for me to be able to keep track of my thoughts, but also, you know, we don't want to get copyright claim like the first episode by putting out clips or something to accompany the visuals, as opposed to just, hey, I made something, check this out.
Yeah, that's exactly the point too. Like, I love doing clips and stuff, but you can't show clips throughout the whole podcast because it's just going to be like a mess of rights and litigation and stuff like that. So I'm
sternly against having Subway Surfers at the bottom of the screen.
Something to keep attention to. That's the worst thing, which is why I decided to keep the logo and the two hosts. I just decided to keep it white background, logo, two hosts, simple, plain, nothing to like show off about, but you know, it felt like it always needed more.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to keep it in that sort of general direction of, well, if I can include you into this, and if I can include anyone who wants to include themselves into it, then yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah.
You want to show off your speed painting skills? Go ahead. That's anything and everything. What we try to do here is amplify the voices of artists in small shapes and forms, but ways that still are integral to the moment and stuff like that. They don't have to be like a slideshow at the end of the video of like fan art. and stuff like that, because that doesn't feel like it's necessarily including people.
Yeah, real talk. Take it from somebody who spent most of his, artistic career kind of just in the sidelines and just doing it for me's sake. Now that there's something that we've built that can bridge the gap between that, I would want artists to also feel that way where, there's really no way for me to put my work out there without me feeling like it won't get much traction. No. There's always places where it's wanted. And we want you to feel the ability and inspiration to be able to make something and people being like, I like that person.
Yeah. And if you have any doubts in your mind about what you create in terms of how it's being recepted and how much reach you have, don't feel like if you don't have enough reach, you aren't making something of potential to be reached out to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your potential is always there. It's merely about taking that first step. Lord knows that if we didn't do this, I don't know where I would have taken my work. I've definitely felt in that, in between position between passion and reality, or passion and what you're doing, where you kind of feel like you're doing this, but you're doing this because you love it. But at a certain point, you start to consider the fact of either will other people love it, or am I just sidelining myself from actually doing something of value, which is weird because this is valuable. Art and creating is as valuable as anything else, but people put it in that like hierarchy system of, yeah, but I need to eat, or, this won't pay the bills because how many artists are there promoting their stuff? It's like, just take the chance. Refine it later. But if, just take the first step. I'm excited. It's funny, for it being the third episode, it felt like so much happened where in my mind, episode 1 and 2 are like bundled together.
Yeah.
Because that whole incubating process of us making it, prepping it, and then the artwork coming like in the final portion of it was like, now we're starting, in my mind, episode.
Yeah, that would make sense. Those two are kind of in a vacuum, and I don't feel like they represent what we're really trying to do in the broader scope of things. But, at the same time, it is what we are trying to be like, we're trying to talk about different things that we love, and at the same time, amplifying the voices of all the starving artists out there.
Damn right.
Shout outs to all my starving artists.
We all hungry together. Don't worry.
We all hungry together, and we all's going to eat eventually.
Fuck yes. That being said, you want to kick it off, partner?
Yes, let's bring on our first segment of the thing. And I want you to pull out your phone real quick because I'm at 10% battery, because we're reviewing our Spotify on repeat.
What?
Yeah, this is something that I drafted up in the ideas just to see what we could do in terms of how we're listening to music right now. Spotify has this little playlist called On Repeat, if you don't know, where you could just check what you've been playing most often in the background, and what has been mostly coming along in terms of your like playlist. So we'll just give a little review of what we do, of what we're playing and stuff like that.
Okay, I can get down with that.
So for me, my first song is definitely Far Away.
I was just, don't even fucking play with me. That was the song I was gonna mention.
That song is like my number one. Like this is like my that was my August song for sure, because that song I played almost every day, every week. It never got old. Yeba's vocals on that whole track are obscenely beautiful. It's like hard to watch that. It's just like such an amazing track. It breaks my heart. It's like a combination of early Adele and like sort of bluesy kind of wine that like you get from like Dusty Springfield and stuff like that. It's such a beautiful track. Now, I will say, it's not all peaches and cream, because it has a feature from A$AP Rocky, and I'm not one to dog on him, because Jukebox Joints is one of my favorite songs of all time. And I'm still excited for his new album, even though it's never coming out. But this feature by him, it doesn't add as much as I wished it would to the album, or to the song at least, because it's just like,
I love Shrooms. No, it definitely takes it in a different direction, because right before, like, dude, I love that bridge where he's like, far away, away, away,
yeah,
away, away, and then you get the piano accompaniment. It's like, it's
Like when I heard it, like he comes in so well on the track as well because oh my god, the amazingness of when it transitions from the bridge chorus of her like somber part with the piano and stuff like that going into the trap style beats. And then you can hear in the background of it, if you pay really good attention, right before ASAP's verse starts, is he's what is it called? Harmonizing
yeah.
with Yeba on the bridge or on the chorus. You can hear it in the background, and it adds such a deep
Richness.
cutting bass that it's like, oh man, this feels good. And then it hits the verse, and I'm just kind of like, I mean, it's a good verse. He dropped some pretty good bars, but
It's underwhelming.
it's underwhelming, at least for the concept of the whole song that Yeba's trying to focus on. It doesn't sound like he very much contributes to the melodramatic like yearning that I hear from Yeba's whole core verse,
Right.
and her second verse too. But everything in the beginning, from the beginning to the end, this is a perfect song.
Really?
I think that at the end when the drums kick in towards the last chorus, that's an amazing moment.
The closest, I mean, when I was listening this, you put me onto the song actually just a couple days ago when we were working on the banner.
Mm-hmm.
You were playing it on your Spotify playlist, and I was just drawing up the Mateo's logo, and I think that song accompanied my mindset and like my flow state very well,
Mm-hmm.
given the openness openness in the sense that it was very
It sets an atmosphere.
it's atmospheric.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. But the song that like looking back and like I've been replaying it, at work and whatnot, but it reminds me a lot of Snow Allegra's "Nothing Burns Like the Cold," featuring Vince Staples.
Wow, that is
a rapper, but it's like jazzy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so
Jazzy.
it's slow. It's a nice, the bridge, the chorus in that song reminds me a lot of Yeba's vocals.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's like, so I have not heard of this artist before, so give me a little rundown.
She, funny enough, I found out about her because around the time where I was a big fan of like Logic, this was 2015. I was Queen at that point.
Shout out to all my grown ass Logic fans out there.
I know they're still there. They're still definitely there. She had a song with him called not Sometime. I think it was another one, but it was with her, and I really liked her vocals, and I kind of kept an eye on her. And around the time where I was listening to Vince Staples, that song came into my rotation, and I love it because I think it is sampled from another song. You could probably correct me, but it was very James Bond inspired. I don't know how to say it, but like the pianos, the way they sound reminded me of like a scene from Casino Royale.
Okay, that's cool. That's actually really cool. So it's like a very Bond-esque kind of sound. I have to listen to that for sure.
You feel very it's slow. You're like you're walking around in a masquerade party.
Yeah, that's cool. That's actually really cool. Then I have to definitely listen to that. Vince Staples is always knows how to collab very well.
What else has been on your playlist?
So my second one, at least for my top 3, we're gonna just do a classic, of course, "Stop Playing With Me" from Tyler.
Nice.
Now this always rotates, so I'm not sure if this is how many times I have played him, but my number one song definitely has to be "Far Away." But "Stop Playing With Me" has definitely been one that's been on my mind as of late because compared to a lot of songs, that song really does hit in a different way. Just you don't even know how to. I don't even know how to describe the feeling that I get when I hear that song because it's just so like so bodacious. That's how I describe it. Bodacious. It's a very bodacious song because you get so much like oomph from it. You feel like you could like you could walk into a room full of your worst enemies and just bitch slap every single one of them out of the way because you're just like fuck you. You don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I am on top of you in every shape and form. It's just so much like, I don't care about any problem that you have coming at me because you are literally already beneath me.
It reminds me a lot of like the Sexy Red. Like there has to be songs for which you can shit talk.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I love Sexy Red. She gives people that like they feel confident. Music that makes you feel like you just said, you could walk into the room and no one can touch you.
Mm-hmm.
that it's and not only like to sidetrack that, he was doing a live stream and showing the tour mixes, and
Yeah.
he had that, and he was doing the background out, like he isolated the background ad libs.
Yeah.
So then you had the synth, the
Mhm.
like that little modular frequency change with the synths, and then you hear a like Tupac, doo wop. And it's just
Mm.
like it builds, man. He knows how to set the tone, especially for a song like that.
Yeah, the song doesn't even very much like have a very much like progressive chord structure compared to a lot of his songs. Like you kind of get like a very progressive chord structure for a lot of his songs, but that song, it very much is just like straightforward production wise. So like the only thing that I could say is what amplifies it is because of the like how do we say it? The interlude beforehand, Momonim. That's a really good build up into that song because, and I think that is like what I think the chord progression into that song is like. It's like New Magic Wand. It's like it's an extended version of New Magic Wand's progressive chord structure in the way it goes from so very like tension building into something that's just like you explode. But that whole part, the whole song of Stop Playing With Me is basically that one moment in New Magic Wand where it's like it just explodes into that full chorus where you just get all the synths and Tyler's voice is fully blasted out and with synthesizer and vocal modulators that it's just like it just sounds like he's screaming into a microphone basically.
Yeah, I won't
full
lie.
of rage.
That
It's
song
like
probably has one of my favorite chord progressions with synth.
yeah, that whole song is basically what became both Momonim and Stop Playing With Me. And that's why I love it so much. It's just so filled with like you could just bust a move to this and dog on everybody. But that's why it's been on my on replay for sure. And I love the vocals and the rapping and the writing. It's so tongue in cheek still. Like for being so aggressive, it's still so tongue in cheek. It's not like something that'll bring you down because it's not even meant to be like something that like it feels like a crowd of middle schoolers like just saying the worst shit they can think of, but it's still like before they are able to curse and like actually call them really bad shit. So
Like,
they're
this is
just
the
like
moment where
making
they
up
can
stuff like
curse,
your mom
yeah.
jokes and stuff like that. That's where I think is really like where it hits for me.
It feels like you got the last laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the last one on you?
Last one at the bottom, we got. Well, this is surprising. Underneath Big Pimpin' from Jay-Z, it's Amber from Steve Lacy, which is actually a new one.
Yeah. I think did that also play what we were working on?
No, I have not played that one. Or actually, no, I have. I think I did because it was on my Discover Weekly.
Yeah, and you were telling me that it was off of Steve Lacy's new album.
No, that's the different one. That's Nice Shoes.
Oh, okay.
Amber's off of Gemini Rights. And it was actually one of the songs that I ended up didn't paying attention that much to. I'm very surprised that I didn't. But I'm going to be honest, I didn't give Gemini Rights a fair shot when it first came out. I felt like that's one of my biggest like things that I'm like ashamed about to admit because I love Gemini Rights. I love a lot of the songs. I love Helmet. I love Mercury. I love Bad Habits. Everyone loves Bad Habits though. So but there's like so many hidden gems inside of it that come up on my Discover Weekly that I'm just like, oh my God, dude, how did I like skip over this or like tune out in the middle of this song? Because this song is beautiful. And Amber was one of them for sure because it's a melodramatic rom-com in a song basically where he's just like, he's just like crying to the wind where he's like, I wish I never met you when I did or something like that. And it's just so like, it's such a melodramatic, sad sounding Steve Lacy song that it's just like, it makes me laugh because it's like so like, it's even more like melodramatic than even like something from his earlier works, like Deep Red or something like that, because it's just so
Dark Red.
Oh,
Wait,
Dark Red, yeah.
Dark Red, yeah.
And something like that. It's just like this song is so like it's like a ballad basically. He's singing to the wind, just these beautiful like backup vocals that he made for it kind of sound like Disney movie style basically. It's like basically like imagine just a guy sung a very, very sad breakup story in a Disney movie. You know what I mean?
Where they're so emotionally overtaken that they have to break out in singing.
Yeah, that's basically what this whole song is, and it's amazing.
My heart hurts.
Yeah, it's such it's so like, oh my god, dude, he's like you could imagine him like on the bathroom floor like crying and just like naked or something like that. He's just like, oh my god, I'm so sad, and he's got like mascara running down his face or something like that. It's so like,
Shawty got me listening to Drake Tease the Pain.
yeah, or like that one image, I'm gonna pull it up on the edit, but it's just guys who listen to Mitski, and it's that one guy who's like curled up in his bed and he's just holding himself while he's crying.
That's not. I felt that. I felt like got that main character in Evangelion, but there's that he's just laying out on his bed and he just has the player.
Oh, Shinji?
Shinji.
Just main character. Yeah, it's very much main character energy kind of music, but it's very much like at the same time I love it. Oh man, I ate it up, and that's why it's at the bottom of my on repeat because I haven't played it as much, but it is still a very great track to check out. Absolutely. And then for you, man, what's at the bottom of yours?
I'm gonna do because for me, I'm gonna out myself, but I use YouTube Premium student discount. I get ad free, and I get all of the. I say to people who are a little bit hesitant on YouTube Music, which is like I get YouTube specific songs that are only on YouTube, remixes, artists, like shit that you may not be able to find on streaming platforms.
Or got that collection of Nightcore sitting in there. I know you do. I know you do. You can't hide that.
There was this one rapper named Athaka that I got put on from still a good friend of mine, but back in high school, I think it was like freshman year when I was like aspiring to be like a rap poet.
Mm-hmm.
But I found him on SoundCloud via a friend's recommendation, and I have like his entire discography saved on like a YouTube playlist. That's on. Like, that's what I'm saying. You can't get. I mean, of course you can, but you can't get that without YouTube, which I try
that
to
is true. So, YouTube is definitely like the internet archive of some sorts. If it wasn't so easy for any jackass to just take down good stuff while it's there, it'd be like a perfect archival site for any niche topic or anything at all. But like the problem is just copyright laws being so unbelievably strict there, and now they're implementing bullshit AI into their algorithm to take down even more people from doing their stuff.
I want the Library of Alexandria in that fucking 2077 billboard.
Yeah, dude, it's like how much ads
aesthetically 2077.
Yeah, like how much ads do you need to put in my thing before you're stop apparently losing money, dude? It's so dumb.
So what I do, because I really don't, I think I did get they call it recaps, but I'll do like one off the recap and then something off of the Pioneer playlist because I volumize my playlist.
Oh, okay.
This one
can
is
see what you got.
June up till now. Funny, the most recent add-on was Far Away from Yeba.
That's funny.
But,
thank you.
Let me see. I want to say Lloyd Banks' Arsenal. Lloyd Banks has been coming back with freestyles and he raps over already, popular hip hop beats. And I really love Lloyd Banks' vocals on that song. There was a remix with him and Benny the Butcher that who producer made that I really loved, but that was one that I look back like you want to scrunch up your face when you hear that song. I fucking love it. Off the June August recap though, Doves by Mavi. I still play that song pretty avidly. I love the instrumentation. The instrumental on that song is so good. I think I played it on one of our rides.
Okay.
But that one, if we could have, I probably would have put that for episode 2's intro.
Okay, cool.
I would love that song. But another one would be man, I really love this song. But it's Unplanned by Clara Lasan.
Oh.
That song, dude, it's weird. I have songs that surpass seasons. Like they surpass like months long. how do you say it? Like, you know how you have a
Periods?
song for a summer?
Yeah, like
Or,
just
like-
periods of your life.
Yeah, dude, that song kept me going from like winter break
Damn, son.
last year to now. Like I love Clara's song. She is what reminds me of when you first listen to Arc Patrol Let Go. You ever listen to that song?
No,
And now you
dude.
won't let go. Ooh,
Oh yeah,
ooh.
that song.
You know
Yeah,
that moment where you're laying in your bed and it's like 3 a.m. and you just can't sleep, but you also are just having a lot on your mind and you hear a song like that.
Mm.
That's what I get that feeling I get when I listen to Clara song.
Okay. That's
So
cool.
if you do get the chance, it's a great slow song, something you can play in the background, or if you're with someone, have it in the background. Definitely help.
For sure. Send that to me later. I
got
actually
you.
want to hear that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think we could do that being a monthly thing. We can review, since you get monthly recaps, we could review what kind of songs we're still listening to, what changed on our on repeat, what we've discovered and what we've missed.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I know there's so much going on that there's always a soundtrack to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
You were on sabbatical. You had a little trip. You want to talk about it?
yes. I was surrounded by art, and it was not even about like the general like looking at art. I was just surrounded by such beautiful architecture, such beautiful nature, such beautiful everything. And that's because I went to Europe for a little summer solstice. And I went down to Denmark to go visit an old family friend of mine. Because he hosted us for a good week, I believe, in his home. It was a wonderful time. You get to see so much beautiful stuff in Denmark. And strangely enough, one of the least documented countries I've seen. My mom, she's a very big like researcher into like what she wants to do and stuff like that. But when she was researching Denmark, she really went in very much blind, because it's like so much of it is not documented outside of, Copenhagen and stuff like that. And it makes sense. It's a centralized city, but the countryside has so much to see. And genuinely, the places that I went to, you could not replicate anywhere else but a place like that, because Denmark was once the capital of the world, basically, at one point for Europe.
Was this during the Viking era?
Yes, the Viking era, dude. They were expansive, dude. They moved everywhere, and they were almost any part of any part of the European Scandinavian region. They were a part of under their empire.
Oh yeah,
And then-
obviously so.
and
this makes
then-
sense. in the whole theme of that time of exploration and just like
Yeah,
we have big ass ships and big ass people.
yeah. There's a reason that Denmark is a part, or that Greenland is a part of the Denmark Empire. It's definitely a reason, because beyond all that history, dude, they were just everywhere. And then when they got christened under like the Holy Roman Empire, I believe it was,
Yeah.
they just expanded even further because they were just given so much access to so many resources. But the architecture there, beautiful. Such amazing looking towns, old places, beautiful buildings. They love building their castles out of red brick. I did not know that. And it makes a lot of sense now that Minecraft has a lot of red brick castles, because
it was
everything was built out of red brick there, dude. They have fortresses built straight up, full top to bottom red brick with shingles on top. And castles are made out of red brick. Everything is made out of red brick. And I'm just so interested by that. It's a fascinating subject. But no, I never brought it up, but it was just like, wow, red brick is everywhere.
Yeah.
They didn't pave anything over with like any concrete or nothing.
Right. And that's the beauty about places like that as opposed to more tourist-based attractions, because you're more inclined to pay attention to like the more minute details. Like I think that's what I love when I look at people like actors or musicians who are established in the UK, and you see where they are, whether it's like or London, you can definitely see the difference, and not only the culture, but also kind of how they maintain it. How like the Hot Fuzz, that
Mhm.
Edgar Wright movie.
Yeah.
I love watching that because it's taking the action police story that you would see in like LA and like those metropolitan areas, and then just moves it to this dainty community like with cobblestone roads and and mom and pop shops.
Shout outs to all my Norfolk people
Hell
in
yeah.
Europe right now, or in the UK, and my Suffolk people as well.
But yeah, I mean, was that? Oh man, was it an impromptu trip?
No, very much not. We had to get a lot of planning regarding at least how long we were going to be there, talking with the family over there, making sure that we were all good to go and stuff like that. And yeah, it was definitely impromptu, at least when we were getting to what we wanted to do in the city, because in the countryside, it's a lot of driving. There's a lot of very long one-way roads that you just got to take to get to different places. So it really was just like planning out all that stuff to make sure you were just getting to the right places at the right time, how much we wanted to get done in a certain day, because there's only so much you can drive across that giant ass countryside. It is farmland central there, dude. Wheat farms abound.
Trying to find. Well, if that's the one downside when you're living like a rural, you get peaceful view. People don't fuck with you. But at the same time, I got to drive like 30 minutes in whichever direction to get groceries.
Yeah, or go to, well, yeah, that is true. They do definitely centralize their towns, at least. Like, towns are not like just one house or something like that.
Yeah.
There is certain neighborhoods that do have grocery stores, but yeah, they are like maybe like a 10 or 5 minute drive.
Yeah, I got to go to the town.
Yeah, I got to go to the town. My friend works at this town that I went to called Odense, and it's also a very beautiful town. It's like a walkable kind of city-like area, similar to like what we have here, Town Square. Town Square, right?
Yeah. Is it the one with the theater?
Yeah, AMC. Yeah. That area is basically a whole expansive region where it's non-drivable, walkable roads. You can just shop there. You can go anywhere you want, really, and just be like, just have a good time.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
you
just
get that
chill
in
out.
places like Disneyland.
Yeah.
Like they really structure their attraction
Mhm.
given that close proximity to everything. It's
Yeah.
like, you just want people to have engagement, like they can turn around, there's something there.
Bars, pubs. You got, especially in the night when the bars and the pubs came out. Oh man, those bars are great.
When you were telling me about how they serve, I mean, because it's known that like in UK pubs they serve the beer warm,
Yes.
and you didn't like that when you told me about it, and I was laughing because it's so. If you were to flip the table, they would be thinking that we're weird because we like ours cold.
Well, the beer was not cold. It wasn't ice cold, I will say. But the beer, at least in Denmark, was cold. I didn't know that they serve beer warm. But what I did complain about in all of Europe, the blazing hot sun, humidity, melting my skin off, dude.
Yeah.
You don't get no ice in your drinks. Not a single droplet of ice. The drinks will come cold, but you better drink it fast because that shit ain't gonna last.
Yeah, is it true that they don't like people in their everyday strolls? They don't carry water with them.
I'm surprised that they don't. They carry fans. I've seen that they carry fans around and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I don't see a lot of people. I didn't see a lot of people drinking water with in their hands and stuff like that. Very surprising. I didn't pick up on that, but I did carry a bunch of water in my sack for sure.
That's something I found out when it came to like science to show. I mean, who knows if this is real, but like I do see where they're coming from. Like science to tell if you're a tourist. You carry a water bottle with you. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The world is warming up. You really think I want to do this? Like, I would prefer to be able to go on a stroll for 30 minutes without feeling
Yeah, maybe
I'm getting out of a sauna.
Maybe all the Brits and every person in the European Union would stop complaining about the heat if they just carried a water bottle in their hands.
True. Or we just, stop the heat.
Stop the global
come on, guys.
warming. We're taking our hard stance here now politically. Stop global warming.
That's so wild. I mean, it seems almost like counterintuitive to not have like at least some type of
prevention method.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm not gonna be somebody who just throws shit out of the window.
Yeah.
Like that's so weirdly common
Mm-hmm.
that it's like I don't know. Maybe it just seems like one of those unwritten things of just like why don't do that.
There just should be more unspoken rules about not littering and stuff like that. Like I've been to now 3 different countries by now where it's like there are rules against littering and there are like hard coded you will not drop shit around here because we will get you
Yeah.
kind of shit.
Weirdly
like Japan,
enough,
it's
yeah.
unspoken Japan, you're like, oh, you got to carry your trash. There's no public trash can, so you're shit out of luck. In Denmark, it's like you can litter, it's frowned upon, but there's a lot of trash cans and there's a lot of ways to separate your trash in all the different compartments. And you can even get paid if you deposit your trash into certain areas.
The plastic bottles, right?
Yeah, the plastic bottle recycling. And we manufacture our plastic bottle. They manufacture their plastic bottles with little like lips so that if you flip it up, it just kind of works as like a cap rather than it being like a full like separatable lid. You lift it up and it like opens like a head, like
I know what you're talking about. I see what you're saying.
Kind of thermosy style, you know?
Yeah.
Like any regular normal water bottle would look like. But plastic water bottles, they don't do that because, you know, oh, you're gonna lose the cap anyways. No, that's fucking bad because plastic waste is one of the biggest things.
It's it really adds up and it has that up. But,
yeah, they curbed it with just adding a little lip, and it's literally no different than just opening a water bottle. You just open it, and then instead of just fully ripping off the cap, you just
a little bit,
and it locks into place.
There's so much examples of like technology from other places that are so ahead, just given the fact of instead of shutting down the whole freeway, we just build an artificial road that they drive over.
Yeah.
I forgot which place does that, but it's like there's clear signs of areas where we can improve on, but we just don't.
Mm-hmm.
But neither here nor there.
That's the American way, ain't it not?
Dude, I'm so pumped. Today's Tuesday. Alien Earth, I think the second to last episode comes out today.
Really? Okay.
I've been loving that show. I've been really enjoying it. So it's the last episode, the previous episode that came out, or the most recent. That's a better way of putting it. The most recent episode that came out. It was frustrating, but it was also just very. It was good to see how they incorporated like those like Alien 1 aspects. Can I talk about it? Can I talk about it? Because it's like.
We are segueing away from the original thing, but yeah, we'll come back to this. But basically, to summarize, Europe is a beautiful place. Go and visit it, especially go visit Amsterdam because I visited so many beautiful museums there. The Van Gogh Museum was amazing. It really is worth the hype. The Rijksburg Museum is also just as much worth the hype. You get to see so many beautiful classical paintings from all different periods of life, and British and European history in general is all documented there in sort of ways. Amazing stuff. I really would like to say that if you have the opportunity to go to a museum in any different country, go to it, please, because it is worth your time and your money. But yeah, we'll move on to that. We'll move on from that to start some segue into some show, movie, and music news. Let's go into that. But also, let's start with your Alien Earth review with the upcoming episode and how you feel about it.
Well, I mean, just pretty much, it's been very cohesive. During the first half of the show, it contained within the situation of like a Weyland-Yutani ship falling into a opposing corporation building.
Yeah,
and then that ship was housing alien species that were collected in a space expedition,
like xenomorphs.
Yeah.
So
there's now internal conflict. There's I was worried because of the multi-character storylines that were occurring. I felt like things were possibly going to get muddled up, or I don't know, like it just lose sight of what it was trying to do. But there was a situation in this newest episode that impressed me, but also goes to show just for me what makes something like this very special, which is the context to the events leading up to where we were in the first episode, but then it subverts your expectation of a character that you initially think is delicious.
Yeah,
it's like, man, it's great because sometimes it's done well, and other times it's done for the sake of just trying to have like, this villain or this quote unquote anti-hero is tortured, has something he has something bringing it like baggage to make him the way he was. This was, I think, a great way to set up how we can better understand the character, but also goes to show like the level in which he is willing to sacrifice for the mission. In this it was during the period in which the cargo, like the space expedition ship, was in course back to Earth, and then the typical alien shit happened.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where like you're like, oh man, of course. What is it? Oh, of course. Uh, it it was breached, or the specimen got out of containment. Then you start to follow along throughout the episode and come to find out it's actually sabotage.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It subverts the expectation of just like an alien movie of curiosity meets consequence.
Yeah.
Where this is like, you already recognize the severity of what's going to happen, but you still feel engaged because you're like, I'm learning more, not only about the characters, but also about the world around them, how things operate, the levels in which corporations are willing to go behind each other's back to do things. So it's something that has been very pleasing to watch, and I'm very excited to see what happens.
Okay, well that's cool. Yeah, I didn't think that. I haven't watched it yet, mostly because of time, and also because I really do want to watch the original Alien movies as a franchise in general, and also play Alien Isolation. I want to really dive into the best parts of the Alien franchise, including like Prometheus and stuff regarding that sort of scenario, because people are always like dogging on Prometheus, but I think that Prometheus had some pretty good concepts.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, I'm glad to know that it's not so tethered to like that type of storyline.
Yeah.
Like this still feels more in aligned to the original first and second, where it's like band of people having to deal with this creature, as opposed to it's engineers who are possibly our creators. You know what I mean? Like there's room for that in some regard for like the lore, but when it comes to capturing the audience's attention at the moment, I feel like I'm going with there, like going somewhere with this, but like it keeps it grounded. Yes, that's a better way of putting it. It keeps it grounded. But yeah, I mean, dude, I rewatched. No, actually, I didn't even rewatch. I watched Alien 1 from the campus DVD rentals.
Really?
In the library. Yeah. I copped 1 and 2. I watched it. This was, I want to say, holiday break of 2023.
Shout outs to the UNLV library, man. You can rent a whole fucking PlayStation 3 from there.
Yeah, they're with the shits, man. Like not only for just what they offer there, but your student. People need to really recognize that, like a student email takes you, like it gets you cool stuff. Student discounts, but also like Canopy. Canopy, I found out earlier this year, which is just this streaming site that you can connect cool email with, and then it allows you to access all of the library movies.
Oh, really?
Without ads.
Really? For real?
Yeah, because it's free. Not free media, but it's free for people to watch. Okay. Because it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how in the library they have it in form? They did it with streaming.
Yeah, okay. But anyways, going back to Canopy, you want to know something crazy?
What's up?
I already knew about Canopy this whole time.
Yeah, I forget. Oh, no. You're the second person to tell me that you knew about it. I saw an old classmate from like a couple semesters ago, and I was telling him about it. And he's like, oh, yeah. I'm glad to see Canopy get the recognition, at least with like Cinephile.
Dude, I love it.
There's more ways for us to be able to look for
niche films.
Yes, exactly.
I think that is great. I have seen so many different films on there, and a variety of films of different mediums, especially because, live action is one thing, but you get animation there. You even get anime. Yeah. They just added anime as of late, and I thought that was crazy.
That was sick.
You get free anime, no ads, and that's something that you don't even get on the best services sometimes, dude, and you pay for them. And that's fucking crazy to think about, that you get... I think you get a lot more bang for your buck off of something like that than anything. But yeah, enjoy it while you can, at least as a student, because shout outs to Canopy, they're doing God's work.
Yeah.
In other news, what do we got for music? Because I know there's a couple of new things that I want to talk about at least.
From
your side of the spectrum, what are you paying attention to?
really, it was a bit of a mixed bag. You left, this was around a month ago.
Yeah, I would say so.
So around that time, we had Jid's new album come out. We had Freddie, but we talked about Freddie.
You say Jid. Is it Jid or is it JID?
Same thing.
Really?
Yeah, Jid
Oh.
or JID.
Oh, I didn't know that. I always thought it was just JID.
No, I like how he says both. He says, actually, funny enough, my favorite track off that album, You Ugly, the first track, he said, thinking back to being a little badass kid, Jid and Fritz playing Mario Kart.
Oh, Jid and Fritz, that's funny.
Jid and Fritz. He's great. That album was good. I didn't like it as much as the Forever Story, mainly just because there was a lot more anticipation in my mind.
Mhm.
Not in my mind, but for me, I remember leaks, audio snippets. I'd go for anything. And I remember when some of those songs were able to make it to the album. I've been listening to this song for so long. Now that it's on the album, great. But needless to say, there was Joey's album.
Mhm.
Joey's, funny enough, my friend had to put me back on it. He had to like get me back into listening to it because I initially wasn't really feeling it as much as 2000. Weirdly enough, I mean, I think in the first episode we were talking about that, about like, oh, I like this, but it wasn't like this. But my enjoyment kind of was delayed.
Yeah.
Especially more because after the whole TDE versus Joey beef, or I guess I like how they call it sparring.
It was basically a West Coast side of hip hop versus only Joey Badass because nobody came to his side.
Like I was expecting New York, especially because a lot of the songs were collabs with Conductor. So there was that, like, oh, I'm getting like this could be Joey's Griselda moment.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you had Griselda, Black Soprano Family, a lot of those, fashion rebel, like umbrella company, umbrella labels.
Yeah.
They've been putting out great work recently. I mean, not even recently, for like the past decade. But my friend was like, just give it a minute, be in the right state of mind. And I think that night after we hit the gym, we went to Wee Wee. We're in his car. He has a great sound system, so we were just playing it. And yeah, dude, the second half, funny enough, I don't really like second halves of the album as much, but that second half of the album I really liked. You had Underwater, 3 Feet Deep. The closing track I really liked. BK's Finest was the one from the first listen that like I stuck with, and the rest kind of fell short. But coming back and giving it a listen, like really letting it sit, I've come to really appreciate it. I think besides that, nothing really comes to mind. I think it's just been keeping new albums coming out and then just playing with whatever in my playlist.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, for me, I've got a good handful of stuff that I got to listen to. At least that's already come out. But actually during the week I was in Amsterdam, Joey Valence and Bray's new album Hyper Youth came out.
Oh, nice.
That was an outstanding listen. Those guys are on a roll, in my opinion. That thing is like punchy. Everything that I liked about No Hands and how it was just so much like the bop kind of bouncing, kind of like just you got the bass in the back of your car, you're gonna rip that shit in half with this kind of production.
Yeah.
It felt it felt great, dude. And then their vocals are just getting better and better with time. Like before they were definitely doing the Beastie Boys type stuff, but they definitely have grown into their own like sound of, I guess I can categorize it as white boy rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
They got their own snare to everything, and they don't have. They're experimenting in like louder, more proud vocals, faster rapping, more harder rhymes. Just really know how to they really know how to nail down a chorus, and they really, really know how to nail down some features because they got JPEG Mafia on this. They got Rebecca Black on this.
I heard that.
They got some great underground artists that as well that definitely shown a lot in the spotlight with their songs.
It's always funny. I mean, like you said about them, they have the Beastie Boys sound. I initially came into noticing them like a couple years back, given their Instagram reels.
Yeah, all their reels about it. Did these guys make the Gen Z for Beastie Boys and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, granted, their promotion on that was very good. The same way I see like BB No Money do it, where you're engaging with an established audience that you've met online, and then with that established audience, you can embrace more sound changes. Because it's not only that, I mean, if it wasn't for their creative promos for songs or making audio like branding audio clips, that was able to bridge, like you said, bridge the gap with Instagram and or like, I hate saying YouTuber as if it's like non-established artists, but people who gain their following via social media or via content creation. But now, I mean, like you said, JPEG Mafia, I know, I forgot which album, but they did a track with Logic.
Yeah.
So you're seeing I'm happy to see artists who maybe start out on Instagram now work with established artists and being able to compete, I guess you would say a good word.
They got the respect.
Thank you.
It's not competition as much as it is because they aren't.
They can stand amongst them.
Yeah, they can stand amongst them, and that's a great thing because I was rooting for them from the beginning because of their creative niche that they were targeting, but I didn't really like their first album. I did like Punk Tactics a little bit, but it was a little bit of its time. You can definitely tell that they were very much just kind of taking the gimmick a little bit much. There's some songs that I returned to, but No Hands is where I felt like, holy shit, dude, these guys are going to be able to do something. And then this album just further amplifies it into like a club hop scene of just being fully about the full spectrum of music and broad ranges of like touching on different rap styles. Like where Tyler's album is about the club sound and dancing and freestyle music, this album, Hyper Youth, is about like the modern twist of those old club hop sounds, not necessarily trying to replicate them, but taking inspiration from them and amplifying them to a degree that makes it so that people from all different generations could appreciate it.
Yeah, everything has an origination starting point. It's just building, bridging the audience to a new sound that maybe they not quite familiar.
Yeah, and in other news, at least in my circle, today, actually, as we're speaking, Gorillaz just announced a new album.
Yep.
And a tour to go alongside with it. There's just been so many tour announcements, dude. Like that just being one of them on the list of all the ones that I know of is crazy to me. But that one is very crazy to me because I'm not going to lie, dude. After Cracker Island, I didn't expect Gorillaz to come back. I thought it was going to be another 12-year hiatus because, they take their licks, but, they like to leave on a sour note sometimes for a very good period of time. But this is a very back-to-back period.
Yeah.
Cracker Island was only like a couple of years ago, like 2023, I believe. Yeah.
So, and it's crazy to think about how that is viewed as like, oh, wow, you're releasing kind of consistently. Usually like them, that there's definitely gaps in time. Now them releasing both together.
Yeah, dude. Damon getting the creative motivation to continue drawing the Gorillaz, and also Damon wanting to continue producing music under that umbrella. Both are surprising to me.
Yes. And I'm happy to see that bounce back. A lot of people who can feel very much so like a product of their time.
Yeah.
Certain sounds stick in certain eras to keep that going. It has a shelf life. But I think the last project that I really tuned into was Music Box.
Song Machine?
Was that the one?
Is that the one where they have the one with Schoolboy on it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Song Machine. That's a great album.
Yes. I really like those YouTube videos of the artist recording, and then you had the Gorillaz characters in the background.
Yeah. Like that was like such a great incorporation of the ideas of like COVID. We're surrounded by the people that we have to be surrounded by to produce music with, but it really gave insight into like not only the actual like recording conditions that they were in, but also just like the style of rawness that I feel Gorillaz kind of left with, like there's such expansive lore, you know what I mean?
That's what I love about that, like them and what they can signify for artists outlet side. Instead of being on the forefront and having their face what people are like. That's why I love MF Doom, where he didn't let himself be the focal point of his music. Mask was that barrier for audiences to just listen to the music without associating it with a certain face.
And then it continues, and then that in itself represents an icon. Like if you know kind of stuff. Like if you see someone with a tattoo of like Dr. Doom's mask or like that Gladiator mask, it could just be like, hey dude, is that a Doom mask? And they're like, yeah. How'd you know? Like, I'm a Doom fan too.
Yeah.
That interconnection of if you know. Because Gorillaz, I saw this tweet recently, right? And it definitely centralized Gorillaz to what I understand them as being. Like, it said something along the lines of this. Gorillaz is the band that everyone knows, yet everyone doesn't know at the same time.
Yeah.
They just know. Gorillaz is something they know of, but they don't know Gorillaz. Like Gorillaz is like, oh, I know that band. They did the cartoons.
Oh,
they did the
right.
cartoons
Right.
and stuff. I like them. I heard a couple. I heard "Feel Good Inc." I like that song too. But you don't know how big Gorillaz really is in the grand scheme of things until you kind of are in the fandom of Gorillaz.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh shit, dude, these guys are worldwide sensations, dude. They're as big as fucking anyone.
Oh,
they're
man.
historically famous.
Weirdly enough, I mean, I assumed what you meant was like surface level listeners or people who are not really tuned into it. They don't know the lore,
Yeah.
like the actual lore of like Plastic Beat or 2D and Murdoch's relationship or how Noodle became a bit. You know what I mean? That's the stuff that like that group invoked, which I think carry a lot when it comes to how I view my creations, which is you want them to feel like they have life to them.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to feel like they're...
There's a reason why everything exists on their character design.
Yeah, it's not just like stylistically, oh, I like this because it was cool. I always like things that have a double meaning. I mean, even in the Mateo's logo, there's a little Easter egg of my creation of OC of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Bone. It was my way of paying homage to the things that if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have, been to where I'm at now.
Yeah. And that's the thing about like, yeah, Gorillaz inspires me every day to just do something so rambunctious and just constantly continue to level up yourself in terms of how you produce art and how you kind of carry yourself as an artist, because you can take yourself seriously, sure, but you can also have fun. You can create these little funny little OCs and maybe you voice them yourself in the beginning, maybe you don't.
But it all is
yours. It's centralized to you and you dreamt it up because it was fun to do. But yeah, dude, like that new album, it's called The Mountain.
The Mountain. And
it's coming out, I believe, in a couple of months. But the new single comes out in 2 days, at least from recording this. So when it comes out, when this episode comes out on Thursday, actually, of the next week, it will already be out.
I'll tune in. I know with Gorillaz dropping in Fortnite, that was definitely I've been seeing a lot more on my timeline.
I'm very happy. Yeah, that's another thing too. Gorillaz in Fortnite, dude. Holy shit, it took them long enough.
Really? I never would have assumed Fortnite and Gorillaz to make a collab.
Really? Why?
I think maybe it's because I need to stop thinking of Fortnite as like how I thought of it during COVID, which is like, FPS, battle royale type of game. Because now it's exactly what I would have wanted when I was 8 years old, which is I can play with Goku, Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is so surreal simply off the fact that it feels like do you remember that game that Disney tried to do where you would buy those figures of like Mr. Incredible, Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, and then play Disney Infinity.
Dude, I was all over the Disney Infinity craze. If you didn't figure it out, I would have told you, dude. I have I was all over the Toys to Life craze. I was in Skylanders. I was in Disney Infinity. I was in fucking any Toys to Life I could get.
I remember I used to draw Skylanders like as inspo. I think there was just one character that I really resonated with that I kind of mimicked some of his character designs.
I love how grimy they are. They're very much like that good mix of like realism and like stylized realism to where it's like it looks grungy a little bit. It's a very much of its time. The Disney Infinity is very polished in comparison.
Yeah, it almost feels like the Disney's versions of Lego. Lego games, where now Fortnite took it to that level where I think this is what I wanted.
That's why they're partnered with each other. Yeah,
just like collabs with everyone, everything, simply off the fact that we could.
I can't believe the day I knew the day I found out that they showed off Peter Griffin in that one trailer, dude. The day I realized like this is no longer just a game. This is like a platform of.
It's a platform. Thank you.
It's a platform of full condensated like brand synergy, and that's something you can attest to. That's something you can detest, or that's something you can embrace. But goddamn, dude, it's shooty fun game. On top of the fact that I'm playing as Bender or Peter Griffin or Miles Morales or any fucking character that you have in the itinerary.
Yeah, for someone like me, I eat off of that. That's such a like. It's weird because I've whenever it comes to like aspects like gaming, as an artist, I always look at it more as like, okay, I'm gonna use this as fuel for my creative bank instead of like, oh, I played it. Like I'm not gonna play Silk Song, but I love Silk Songs. I might incorporate some of those simplicities in my work to be able to better tell a story without having to use so much line.
Yes.
Or Gorillaz, where during that time, this was like middle school.
Yes.
So so I was in teens, like 12 to 14, where those different mediums used in those music videos and those artists that I've come to love because of that group, it influenced my work.
What was your first exposure to Gorillaz? Like, what was the first music video you at least remember watching? Because everyone got there first. If you're like in the Gorillaz
I can tell
sphere.
you what. I can tell you what. Yeah, I know. It was gonna take me a minute, but I remember what. 2017 was when Humans came out, right?
Yes.
2017. I was in middle school, and this was the time where we had iPads, and I didn't have a phone until I was like 14. So, and that's not even with like service.
Dude, you're no wonder I'm so cooked in the head, dude. I've had a phone since I was 8.
I know. I am very glad that my mother postponed that relationship with me and technology because it made me, it fueled my art. Simply off the fact that like I don't have a phone, so watch movies, digest things to make you creative.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna lose your mind. But
I had a phone when I was 8, and then I moved, and I didn't have a home PC. I didn't have a home PC until like late COVID year. So I was on the phone because of the fact that I didn't have the TV. And the phone, I honestly wish I did have a home PC, because at least with the home PC, you're centralized to the home and you can explore things within your range and stuff like that. With a phone, you're everywhere all at once. Everything is always centralized to you. You never have the ability to let go of it. And I think that's the reason as to why I think don't give your phones kids. Don't give your kids the phones, because your phones will take your kids, dude.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm grateful to know because of that. Like I said, with that limitation in technology, when I was on YouTube, or because YouTube was one of I didn't have social media. I wasn't a kid who had like Instagram, fucking Snapchat. So
yeah.
For a bulk of that, like adolescent, creative, like sponge like mentality, I would watch whatever piqued my interest, whether it was like video essayists, reviewers, music videos. But 2017, when we got iPads and we were able to have Spotify before they took off the app.
Yeah.
Fucking fools. But during that time, I found out, I discovered the Saturn's Barn music.
Ooh, that's a great introduction, though.
Dude.
This shows us so much good parts of their character, antics and stuff like that. And it's just the way they act in general. It's such a good, There's so many good moments from that video.
And keep in mind, like at that point, I'm just like, what? Because, oh man, I remember they just came across my platter one day, and that was the same time I got into Brent, because Vince was in
Vince
Humans.
is
He's featured in Humans.
Yeah, and
Yeah, maybe a Vince
Ascension
fan.
is one of the best. I can say it's honestly the best track in the Humans. Ascension is great.
Maybe so. Yeah, I mean that album. That's for me where it felt like it's such a special moment because it was their moment of change.
Mm-hmm.
It was a growth within the group and their sound, and because of that, it opened up my world to get to delve into the lore and history, and even the older. There's an not an unreleased one, but like a non. It's pretty much one with Andre 3000.
A B-side.
Do you think?
Oh
Do you
my
think? Remember that
god!
video? You remember that
Yes, I love
video? Fuck
that.
me if that video was so good.
That's a
Dude.
great video. I loved watching the storyboards for that video because they're also still filled with character as well.
And the 2D and 3D.
Mm-hmm. The 2D and 3D aspects. You remember
Yeah,
the sweat collectors?
Yes.
The sweat collectors are so cheeky, bro. And then there's like fucking moments where it's like, it's just so like rambunctious.
Yeah.
This is a bunch of stuff. I'm using all these big words today because it's just you don't really know how to have those feelings because it's just like, crazy is one way to describe it, but rambunctious is like, this is a hootin' and hollering session right now. This is a bunch of fucking bullshit happening in this show.
There's so much. I like there's this word I always like to say. I think what you before, like texture.
Mhm.
So much texture.
Yeah, they're so
And-
grainy in that video. They're so like
You can feel it. You can feel that room.
they're like
like-
tangible.
Yeah,
There's
well, I mean,
so much
like-
feeling on their skin.
We're in your room right now, and it invokes the same vibe that I get whenever I go into my room. Like, this is your brain.
Yeah.
This whole room tells a story. The things that you've collected, the things that you like. This is exactly what I want my work to be in some regard. It's like you can hear into what makes me, what I like, what I take as a
Where's all the porn?
that.
Can you point out can you see any of the porn influence?
I can probably piece it together. I mean, I see the Elvis Presley headshot.
Yeah. That one's yeah. I've had so many sessions to that
if you were to
guy.
be in this room, that this is a great one. He even has the Minecraft lantern on the wall. That's actually I just noticed that right now.
Yeah, I love my room, but going back to what we were saying, like, yeah, you really, if you don't remember those videos in a certain way, like you like didn't grow up on them, like, dude, just go check them out regardless because they're master classes in art. And can you believe that Do You Think video was a advertisement?
That's what it was. That's
It's a
why I was
Converse ad.
like, yeah.
That's crazy to me,
Murdoch
dude.
smacks the shit out of 2D with a Converse.
And and there's a really funny joke where he's like reading the storyboard of like them having
Mhm.
like a good life together.
No, it was the
And then it pans
the
down.
newspaper comic.
Yeah, and then it pans down to Murdoch just
I love
being
my
fucking
friends.
pissed off. Yeah.
It's great. That's I mean, shout out Gorillaz for I could imagine not only for a lot of other young listeners at that time, but it introduced us to rappers.
Mm-hmm.
Del the Funky Homo Sapien, MF Doom, Andre 3K, Vince Staples, who else?
Okay, here we go. Let's do it. We got Most Def. We got Most Def, Yassine Bey
Yassine Bey.
as nowadays. We got Snoop Dogg. He's a frequent collaborator. We got oh my God, De La Soul. De La Soul is the most famous one.
Didn't Gorillaz work with Pharrell possibly?
I don't know.
Could be
I don't
wrong.
know, but they recently worked with Bad Bunny. That was cool too on Cracker Island.
They never let themselves be contained to just one style. They love expanding the sound. They work with it.
Didn't they work with? They did work with Danny Brown. They worked with
They
Danny
did.
Brown and JPEG Mafia.
Yep.
Those are some great songs.
That was
Danny
also a
Brown.
song.
Danny Brown is on Humans. Song Machine is JPEG Mafia. He's with Chai. It's Chai and JPEG Mafia. Chai is like I love Chai. They're a great 4-person Japanese R&B group. They're really good. I like their songs. Who else?
There was a lot. I mean, needless to say, I mean, if it wasn't for them, I could imagine a lot of us during that time of exploration and curiosity be just inclined to like what we like because it's what we're used to. I know during that time, this was like my indie boy phase. I was very into like Boy Pablo, Mac DeMarco. I went through phases in my youth of sounds and styles, but that one stuck a lot because in the midst of, I say indie simply off the fact that I loved Mac DeMarco, still do, but I remember puffing up my jeans because wearing like a raggedy pair of chucks. I was wearing a flannel, a hat, always wearing.
Yeah.
I made it almost like felt very closely to how I felt at that time,
Yeah.
And then with that came wanting to see what else I could. I think that was when my taste was expanding, given my worldview.
Yeah, and that's something that I can attest to as well, is like being like what I more or less picture with my music taste, because you can track my progression of music taste going from like very underground indie into the more modern indie, and then like I just full on nose dived into hardcore rap and just going into all of different genres and all the different tastes, and since then I haven't looked back.
Yeah, weirdly,
My taste is I feel like my taste is pretty expansive, and I'm still growing it to this day. There's so much more I could listen to that I feel like I do listen to, but just not enough to appreciate it like as much as I should.
Yes, there's definitely, I think, for a lot of people, a stepping off point where they're no longer going through phases as much. They're now kind of like being close to like I'm a couple months away from turning 21, which is insane to think about. But
Samesies.
yes, sir. I think, I don't know if you can back me up on this, but being an adult, there's no longer that like moment in which you're going through phases as much as you're just further building off of what you already know.
Yeah, going through the motions.
Yeah, like sure, there may be moments where I might listen to rock a lot more than I would be rap or indie. But at the same time, I never consider it like, oh man, I was in my rock phase now at my age. It's like, no. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Ozzy brought me back to listening to Metallica, listening to Led Zeppelin, to Van Halen. Van Halen started my cassette collection because of a CD tape that I found at the Goodwill 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What I mean is, it's interesting to think about the mindset in which a child wanting to figure out who they are gravitates to the music in which best represents them at that time. Why do you think at that age, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like getting into the underground scene with artists who may not be the most popular, you felt a certain type of connection because it's like, I know you. Not I know you, but like in the midst of people kind of going about what they like, given radio hits, friend recommendation, I found something that you feel a relationship towards. That's why I felt like with Mac's music, at least, I was feeling lonely, feeling like my woes, biking around in my neighborhood and playing Salad Days, another one, This Old Dog.
Yeah.
Songs. You felt that way and you felt attached to it. Now it's more just like you can appreciate it for what it gives you, but you're not going to be so on like defensive about like, no. This is my artist. You can't listen to it.
Gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is the scourge of everything. I'm placing my flag down right now. You can agree. You can hold on to the handle if you'd like, but fucking gatekeepers and anybody who tries to forbid anyone from including any art into discussion by just being like, you can't talk about that. I talk about that only. I'm that guy. Or how did you know about that? I didn't tell you about that. Any gatekeepers like that who just hoard knowledge and wisdom in the form of art and progression and growth, you are the scourge of the earth.
You know what? I'm going to kind of out myself. And not to say I was that bad, but I will say during those moments in which I felt very attached to the music that I was listening to, I was less inclined to recommend it to people because I didn't want it to be this thing where it's just used. Maybe it's because in middle school you always think that people are doing things because it's to appease the grand audience.
Yeah.
I'm wearing this because I know this is what's hot right now, or I'm hanging out with these people because, you know what I mean? It for whatever stupid fucking reason, us as 13, 14-year-olds try to process. But I remember feeling like there's a chance that if I were to recommend this song to you, you're just going to play it for other groups of people without sitting with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to think about because that's not the point of music. Music is to just share and to experience. But I think at that time, I didn't want it to feel like this thing that I find valuable, you're taking the piss of it simply because it's niche or it's something not on people's radar, which ironically enough, I think has made me want to now be more vocal about what I like, about what interests me and you, because stuff like this can bridge that that system where I love it and it means a lot to me. So for me to tell other people means that I want them to experience the feeling that.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, that it should be holistic.
Yeah, that's something I've always had. Like, I can attribute your notion of feeling to like just being like your notion is a lot more complex than mine. I did not share a lot of my music, at least just because I never really found my group, and I never really knew who I could really consider to be like the people that would necessarily understand my music.
Yes, you didn't know if they were gonna possibly like. You never want somebody to shit on the things you like either.
Of course.
Like,
and that's the thing. That's like, I think exactly like the reason why gatekeepers exist nowadays, because, you know, gatekeepers, it's like it grows from that shame of not wanting to share what you love into a sense of pride. And then it grows into ego. And that's when it becomes a problem, because now you're purposefully barring the point of entry for people who are genuinely interested in what you want to say.
Exactly.
By being just like difficult with them and just discussing what you want to say, rather than just like actually just sharing stuff with them.
Yeah, which is funny because I think it could come like you can understand that to some regard. You don't want people to just be like, "Oh, what'd you get? Oh, I look cool. All right, for sure," without really knowing it, because then it's just like, oh man, you know, it can go in a lot of ways, interpretive and objective. But I will say that it needs to. The thing with gatekeeping, it can't be toxic. Sure, there's certain things that you keep for yourself, certain ballads, songs, certain things like deep cuts that you hold because
there was a moment attached to them.
Yeah, and you don't want that to be jeopardized because it's played on your friend's aux on the way to somewhere. Like, you want to savor that, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's all about. Oh no! I know where I was going to go with this. To be so adamant on withholding your taste to other people is indicative to not having a personality at all, because you think that is what makes you. Like, I love these artists. I love the things that influenced me, but to say that my work is directly influenced by any specific person, or like I can't give away my quote unquote like secrets or what I like, because then what will I have is like me, motherfucker, like me.
Yeah.
I still have the ability to make whatever I think and create what I want and love what I want. So why not share that with the world?
Exactly. And that's something that everyone should attribute to, like, share what you love, share your passions. It's nothing there's nothing to hide and nothing to be afraid of, because
that's what Gorillaz invokes. I mean, with this, I hope with this new album, they still keep, you know, they don't stop. They just.
I want them to like put people like JPEG Mafia and people like Danny Brown and even other artists. Like there's this, I can't pronounce her name for the life of me, but she is on Désolé, and she is a
Désolé.
Yes, and I don't know her language that she's speaking, but her vocals are outstanding in the song as a bridge and a piece of, and the song in itself, it attracts such a vibe. It's such a beautiful, beautiful song.
Yeah, that's what we look for in life, really now.
And
at
then
least what I look for in life.
Yeah.
Vibe.
And then there's even like songs like Aries off of Song Machine too. I love Aries, or I love Song Machine, because out of all of the Gorillaz projects, I feel like it was feature heavy, but every feature felt necessary to the component of the core basis of the song and itself, because there was no moment where I felt like, this could just be only a Damon part, or this could just be like a feature part or something like that, or this feature could just not be in here.
Yeah.
Every feature felt integral, and they were used, dare I say it, more effectively than some features on Humans. I feel like there's a lot of features on Humans, but some of them contribute something, but at the same time could also be like, if you got rid of them, there would not be a noticeable difference.
Yeah.
I feel like in that integrity to the song is much more present in the songs off of Song Machine. At least if we're comparing those two, because I feel like they're very apples to apples. They're very big albums. They're some of the bigger albums on Gorillaz' discography, and they're like of their central time. They like established a new era for Gorillaz, I feel, in terms of what chapter they're going into.
Yeah, I mean, any ideally with features, if it's not out of just like, hey, we're friends, we're creatives, we make music, let's make something. Like that's one. But I think I might have to double back on this term, but like it should have features should have it should accompany the song sonically instead of just like he's included.
Mm-hmm.
I think a feature that doesn't further advance the song is no better than just not having it at all, because then I can appreciate the song as a whole. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're putting them in for the sake of putting them in. I prefer for like what's a great example of like Pink Panthers doesn't do a lot of features. Not like features as in on people's songs, but she doesn't have a lot of people feature on her music.
Mm-hmm.
She's very much so like a solo act in discography. Majority of the songs have been herself and herself.
Yeah.
But when she brings someone in, it feels like it furthers the song, whether it's a male voice giving a bass tone under her vocal pitch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying this to say, like, if it doesn't further the song, then at that point I can't really see how it was there it was needed in the first place.
Yeah. Like
Maybe
it's
a hot take, obviously.
It is a hot take, because it's the problem is with dogging on features, especially, it's like yes, Humans is definitely a core aspect of, like, the features are definitely a core aspect because of the time and the political period it was developed in, and trying to amplify the voices that are usually diminished
talking about Humans?
Yeah.
Post 2016, Trump winning the election, dude, I can remember what the air felt like.
Mm-hmm. It was it was a noxious odor, it felt like.
Yeah, and I think Humans, that's why it sticks so much on me, because I think it was like the response to that.
Mm-hmm.
Even Vince's, I keep going back to, but this track is so good. It says, I'm just playing, baby, this is the land of the free, where you can get a Glock and a gram for the cheap, where you can live your dreams as long as you don't look like me, be a puppet on strings from a fucking tree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
That's a very, like, that whole album is very good at making such broad strokes of statements, and it's still at the same time, like, a lot of them are just like, so I feel they're a little weighed down in some points, because it's just like you're trying to get somewhere with what you're doing in terms of your messaging, but at the same time, like, it's so of its time that you just don't know what to do. Of what?
I want.
Oh, I hated them all.
Hell,
my bad, G.
No, you're good. This is something that we're gonna keep in the podcast. I was telling him I have a bit of an appetite and I eat, and I was thinking like, man, I probably should bring like a podcast snack, and like, you know, you just see me walking around just like nibbling.
Yeah,
on, like,
I know.
lifesavers.
I just got up and I was like, what the heck?
I had to adjust myself.
But yeah, my back is currently like in the worst shrimp position right now. But
the vibe in this room,
it's great, dude. And yeah, you know, I just going back to it, like centralizing. I don't want to kick a dead horse, but it's just like, yeah, just make sure your features always contribute something to the song. And you know, I can say, as much as I love Bad Bunny, that one song that he's featured in for Gorillaz is not a Gorillaz song. It's a Bad Bunny song.
Thank you. You put it in the best way.
it needs to still feel like a Gorillaz song.
Mhm.
The reason why we loved the creatives or people, these collaborators in a way, is it still inherently feels like their sound, but the rapper or the feature is coming into their world.
Like I could imagine Vince Staples has rapped on some pretty fucking crazy beats. I will say his stuff his stuff can be nasty sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, dude, how did he put this down?
I love
and put a rhyme to it. And
there's gonna be a segment of one of these podcasts where I just geek out, man. He is my top 15.
Top 15, yeah. I think that he's on his own level. He deserves a lot of respect. But like his stuff, like the stuff that he rapped on for Gorillaz, for Ascension's beat, it was such a like
Came in hard.
Yeah, it's a, dare I say it, it sounds like a breakcore song. That beat is very breakcore-y.
Stars falling, baby, drop that ass for crash.
So much noise, so much very hard drum and bassy kind of sounds, very fast paced, and it's just like, it's just crunchy. Yeah. Like you could imagine a beat being made to it, but you wouldn't imagine like
him rapping on it.
A rap like that kind of be written down on it.
That's what makes him him.
Mm-hmm.
Is all different variations and styles over the years. That's something that I always give him props, is the fact that he always reinvents himself. But not only that, he gets in where he fits in. He knows what this track needs and what he can offer. And he's just creative when it comes to just giving out the. He could easily just say, I'm a black male in the United States, and it's hard. It's like, no. Be a puppet on strings hanging from a tree. Like, wow.
Yeah, dude. And
great allegory.
Mm-hmm. And I hear stuff from like, oh my God. I'm trying to remember the Danny Brown song. I've been trying to remember for the past like hour basically of what it's called. But that Danny Brown song is great because it's just like such a good, like, oh my God. The feeling that you get when you go from the first vocalist who is also featured on it. Let me see here.
I'm telling you, man, that era is, I love how this
Submission. Kelela has some great vocals in the beginning. But once, like, you feel like the song is over, like her voice is like slowly drowned out, and then it's quiet. And then all of a sudden, like a fucking train, Danny Brown just comes in with his energy. Boom! You get hit with his fucking rhymes, and it is the best hard hitting. It's like a hard hitting moment as high as Ascension's highs are.
These are, no pun intended, to the art that I try to invoke with people, or at least try to invoke within myself. This from 2009, I'm gonna say 2010 to 2017.
Mm-hmm. I love.
Wow. Danny Brown, Vince Staples, Odd Future, Pro Era, ASAP Mob. You had Underground Works, Raider Clan. People may not get it from this initial couple episodes of the podcast, but we're with the shits.
We're with the shits. We are.
No.
We're hip, as they say. We're hip.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even the fact of like, oh, it's rap or it's from this type of genre. It's that era.
Mm-hmm.
The turn of the technology, social media was advancing at such a high rate. You had ways to connect with the audience as an artist a lot better.
SoundCloud, the homegrown studio, was just becoming.
Not even that. Think about it. 2010, you had Dat Piff. You had Two Dope Boys. You had Vader. A lot of these like magazine blogger. It was the blog era in the midst of a changing scope of streaming services, and to see the bridging between traditional, newer rap and just overall like artistic expression during that time. You can't help but love it because it was people just saying, fuck it, this could work. The swag era is a clear sign of that. Of just people being like, you know what? Fuck it, this will work.
Yeah. And then it worked. And you got some great acts. You got some great
boys. You had people from all different walks of taste.
Denzel Curry is one of the big heavy hitters of that time, and he still is a heavy hitter.
Yeah. Adaptation is key when it comes to everything.
Especially now in the streaming era.
All right, besides, enough of the Gorillaz, bro, because we are fucking joyriding.
Yeah, so the Mountain is coming out. I can't wait to see the track list. I can't wait to see the features. I can't wait to hear that single for sure.
We'll keep that on the back burner if you want to give a review on it. I might check it out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Moving on to some other news.
You been catching up with anything recent? I know I mentioned Alien Earth, but like, have you just been, because with school coming back for us, going to us doing school and work, has there anything that's just been keeping you like a comfort movie, comfort show?
Yeah, not really much. I'm not gonna lie. I've been frequently catching what my mom has been watching though.
What's she watching?
My mom has been watching something with like she's into Korean dramas.
Oh, word.
Just blasting it out there. Sorry, mom. You love them Korean dramas.
They're great. Shout out Mr. Sunshine. Shout out on was it Bloodhounds on Netflix? I love that one.
There's a lot of good ones. I love Itaewon Class. It's still my favorite one that I've fully sat my ass down and listened. I'm in that shit. I love that show a lot. But my mom has been watching this one. Oh god, what's it called? Something Bon Appetit, Your Majesty, or something like that. It's a new one, and it's sort of like a rom-com-y drama. It's a period piece, though. She loves Joseon period pieces, especially during the monarchy and stuff like that, because it's like, it was what got her into the dramas in general. But this one is comedy. It's for sure a comedy because it takes place during a specific period of the Joseon dynasty where this king was like considered very crazy. He was like this mad with power king that was like also maybe schizophrenic. It was never diagnosed, of course, but he was just called the Mad King. And
at that time, dude, everything was lined with lead. This going back to there's asbestos everywhere. There's fucking lead everywhere.
There's fucking lead everywhere. Fucking everything was built with lead. But basically going back to it, he said, but one of the things that was really like poignant about him that was recorded in the history books was that he loved eating. He loved eating varieties and varieties of foods. So the premise of the show is that this chef from I believe it's like a high prestigious Michelin star restaurant, gets traveled back in time to the Joseon period, specifically that Mad King period. So she gets captured, taken prisoner and stuff like that. And then she realizes like, wait a minute, like, what I like about this show is that there's a very big inherent sense of self-awareness within the main character. Like, it's not just like, oh my god, I don't know my history. I don't even know what I'm doing here. What is going on? Who is this king? What am I supposed to do here? No, she knows. She's a very big history buff. She's a very big history buff to the degree where it's like, she knows about the Mad King and the fact that he loved eating food.
So she was brought back in time with present knowledge.
Yeah, with present knowledge.
She could know about events that would occur.
She knows about events that occurred, and she also understands, like, she gets, like, Back to the Future rules, like, embedded in her head, basically. Like, she's like, I can't change anything about history. I can only participate in it. Otherwise, things might get affected in the future if I go back.
Can I ask you a question? Isn't that inherently I've always asked, like, I always thought to myself when it comes to those type of things, I need to not change anything as to avoid any paradoxes in the future.
Yeah, the butterfly effect.
Yeah. But to me, I'm like, you're already in the past. That's an anomaly in itself. Anything you do, if you breathe, you're one person extra that shouldn't be there. You would already think you're a paradox.
Yeah, I would say so, but you know.
That being said, that sounds so sick.
It is true, and it is. Well, going back, that's a different plate of cookies for a different glass of milk. We'll get into timey-wimey stuff when we talk about when we watch like the Back to the Future series or something like that. But going back to it, the show is like, really well grounded. It's silly. It knows how to not take itself too seriously, but it does at the same time take itself very seriously because it was a very rough time for the Joseon era. Because this guy was like basically fucking insane.
Tyrannical.
He was a tyrannical ruler who would kill anyone on sight if they looked at him wrong.
Yeah, but I'm glad to know that time is behind us. And that can never happen now.
Surely not. We are in clear waters since then. But
oh Jesus!
So she goes back in time, and she's now basically taken prisoner, and they're calling her a witch because she is while she is also recollecting stuff in her own head, she's also verbally saying stuff too that she's like from the future, and she's like shouldn't be here and stuff like that. So she's not really that keen on changing stuff because she already is telling people like, yeah, I'm from the future, but people aren't just believing her. People are just saying like, you're a witch, you're from the future, you're just a witch. You're claiming nonsense. We're gonna imprison you and probably put you to death. But she starts cooking good meals for the king, and then that is what wins her over to become the royal chef.
Your Majesty, what is this? Lean.
Lean. Let me give you this cup of lean.
No, you know what's funny? I'd be dying laughing if that premise, in that case of like, oh, my present knowledge was of use in the past. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like knowledge or cooking, it'd fucking kill me if she just brought back like a Lunchable.
Yeah, dude.
And what is this? Ham, cheese, crackers, and an Oreo. And at that point, they just christened her right there and then as like some wizard of food.
Yeah, there's a whole side plot with her bag, like her designer bag, being a big like part of it because she's like, I gotta get my bag. It has all my recipes and it has a bunch of stuff that I don't know in it, but they don't even know what a bag is. It's a really funny exchange where she's like talking to this insider who's like helping her survive basically to not die, because now people are wanting to kill her. Not just the king doesn't want to kill her anymore because she's making him good food, but now everyone else wants to kill her because of the fact that she's like
valuable to the king.
Valuable to the king and winning over his heart, and she's just some fucking rando. So she's talking to this insider who's like, hey, people want to kill you. She's like, okay, I need you to get my bag. And he's like, bag? Bag, what is that? And she's like, oh my God, you don't even know what a bag is. So she's like describing and motioning like a bag is like you carry it on your arms and stuff, and you gotta put stuff in it. And he's like, oh, a knapsack? He's like, yes, a knapsack. And it's like it shows the actual photo of what like a historical knapsack was. And I'm like, that does not look like a fucking bag at all.
It doesn't, dude. Wow, man. It's not often where I get recommended a drama. That one definitely is piquing my interest. Just because, I'm a sucker for the rom-com stuff. I'm a sucker for, like the classmates, will they or won't they? But this sounds so tight. It reminds me of that one manga you told me.
Ooh.
Guy goes to caves, whimsical fantasy story, cooks.
Oh, Delicious in Dungeon.
Yes, sir.
Outstanding anime as well. I also highly recommend.
Hey, we got two for. See, if you watch that and you're into it, now you have it in animated form.
Yeah, if you're hungry, go watch both of those. It'll satiate your appetite.
Dude, you know what's funny? Speaking about time, there's this movie that I watched before we head up to record. The Man from Earth. Know about it?
Isn't it about... Wait.
I think you know what. Man from Earth.
Give me a rundown.
John Oldman. It's funny how I just have this off the top of my head. John Oldman is about to move out.
Cousin of John Goodman.
Imagine.
That's so funny.
Goodman and Old Man.
Yeah.
So he's about to move out. He's leaving, but he's kind of doing like an Irish goodbye. He kind of just wants to leave under the radar. And colleague, he's a teacher. So his teacher colleagues all show up to the house. Like, you're gonna leave without, saying goodbye. I brought food. I brought drinks. Come. He was initially like not for it, but he comes to realize like, yeah, this was very nice. I'm glad you guys showed up. And as that goes on, he begins to tell them that he's 14,000 years old.
What the fuck? Holy shit. That actually like caught me by surprise. I don't usually get caught surprised by twists of that's something else.
Dude. Wow. So keep in mind, this is no CGI, no external sets. This is one spot. This is his house. It's these group of people, like this handful of people, and they're just talking. And it's so engaging simply off the fact that the character of John is explaining things from thousands of years ago in great detail, but he's also putting it in the same way where somebody were to travel back in time and explain that they're from the future, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're crazy.
It's so individualized. Yeah. Like you can't like think he's making it up because it's so like, what the fuck, dude? How do you know
How do you know this?
that? Yeah.
So over the course of the movie, it's this denial versus concern because they don't know if he's having like a mental breakdown or you're just bullshitting.
Yeah.
But man, the dialogue is really good in that movie. The way he explained going through moments of like religion, of like being a religious figure. I think in this movie he was Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a funny.
Wait, so he was Jesus?
Yes. So for 14,000 years, I love it because people are like, "Do you remember your house? Do you remember where you live?" And he's like, "If you were to go back to your house, do you think it would be the same?" 14,000 years. You really think I can go back to anywhere and it's going to be exactly what it was?
Yeah, no, erosion.
So it really, like, that whole dilemma sticks with you because it's like, it's someone who's lived for so long through so many centuries that, and he even said it best about how the traumas, the highs, the lows, those stay with you. Those are embedded with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the other stuff, the menial tasks throughout those centuries, lost the time and you forget. So it was a really great film in terms of just like engaging an audience and tackling a topic like that it reminds me a lot of something like that where you're put in a position of one moment you're chilling, next moment you're damn near an isekai, and this one it went from, hey John, you're a friend of ours for 10 years at this school, and now I have to deal with the fact that like you are saying that there really isn't like a god.
Yeah.
Or the fact that like, if you ever get the chance, it's free on YouTube. Give it a check out. It's like an hour 30.
Okay.
It's something that I saw from Instagram clips.
Yeah.
With the scene where he was talking about being Christ and how, pieces of the Bible were based on previous historical retellings or like mythos and stuff like not one stories of just combination of people retelling or other things. But yeah, man, it was something that reminds me of that a lot, about just someone trying to make sense of a situation that they probably are very much so unqualified to talk about.
Yeah.
Or like, how do you explain a Prada bag to somebody who doesn't know what the fuck she talks on?
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, that's such an interesting. Wow, what a concept!
I'm doing it a disservice not going in depth, but dude, please, it's something to play in the background because it's not really. It's not a, what do you call it when like it's a stagnant movie?
It's just meant to. It's just it's just a static film. Like you keep it in one scene, probably taken in one shot and stuff like that. Everything's like
Reminds me of a play.
Yeah.
You're just like a set piece of one spot and it's like you have to make a whole play out of it.
Yeah. Improv.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a really awesome segment. So yeah, go check that out for sure. That's an awesome premise and I will be checking that out as well. Going on to more timey-wimey shit, but
what's our timestamp right now?
We're looking at about a 2-hour mark. So going into the final thing.
Yeah, we'll do the final segment.
Yeah, we'll talk about the final thing right here, but what I've been on is like this last film I want to talk about because it really ties everything together, I feel, in terms of art appreciation and stuff like that. And at the same time, regretting what you could have done and what could have been. I recently watched a movie called Look Back, produced by Tatsuki Fujimoto. Yeah, that guy. If you don't know, he wrote Chainsaw Man, a very prolific anime manga series.
Also Fire Punch, great, weird but underrated in his discography.
Yeah, he's a very, very real humanist kind of writer. He tackles human subjects to a degree that a lot of artists and manga writers don't. Like you have character archetypes that are so fleshed out and so 3D, yet at the same time they are still archetypes that you don't even notice. Like these could be people that you encounter in real life, and Look Back just amplifies all of those skills that he has into one movie. And it's an hour long. I practically call it a short. It's not even a movie. Yeah. It's a short, basically, to me, because the premise is basically two artists understand why they create. An artist back in like 7th grade is doing the school paper and is contracted to work with another student who doesn't go to school as much, but is an artist themselves. That's all the school knows. They just want, they contract her to like do the school paper with her. And so she's like, okay, I guess so. I might as well. So her writings, so the main girl's writings are really well regarded within the school. Like she's getting props from all students and they're like, oh, this was so funny and stuff like that. All of a sudden, this new artist comes in and the next paper comes out and she's now got competition. And this is not just any competition. This is steep competition. She's got outstanding lithographs of pictures that she's drawn just displayed next to her comics. And now she is no longer the top shot. She is now 2nd place. And that ruins her like creative drive. Or actually, no, it doesn't. It does. It emboldens it because now she really wants to one up this girl who's all of a sudden just come in and usurped her throne. So she just spends what is originally her social life just drawing. And there's a whole montage. It is one of the most like, not really heart-wrenching, but it is really much like so you empathize with it so much if you're an artist. And granted, not even if you're an artist, if you're someone who has passion about a project or something, you empathize with it so much because it just is like,
you want to get better.
You want to get better. And you see these frames of her, like what was once like her, like living her life, now being replaced with her drawing, sitting away from the family, sitting in her room, constantly stacking up sketchbook upon sketchbook upon sketchbook, going to the library, reading art books, going to school, head down, face to paper, drawing stuff, full 90-degree arc, gamer neck style, bruh. She's full nose to paper. Years pass, and she gets the next paper after all of this work that she does, and she still she still feels like she can't compare herself to the stuff that this person is drawing.
I forgot her name. I really should check up on that movie again, but she's an otaku.
The second girl is, but the first girl is like a socialite.
Yeah, she's a socialite, and the one that's great.
The one that's outstanding doesn't go to school. Eventually it is shown that she just is like stacked with papers of books of sketches that she does.
Oh, but a good key fact about that, their dynamic, like from the jump when she was like, who is this person that's better than me? And she finds out that she doesn't go to school, so she goes to their house. She goes to the girl's house, and the girl, after she knocks on her door and there's no response, she's like, okay, fuck this, I'm going home. And as she's walking out, the otaku comes out and gives her props, says like, you are great.
You are great. I've looked up to you forever, basically, and I've been following it. You're the reason why I wanted to do the paper.
And she wanted to be great because she knew that person can be if that person can be that good because of just what I do, then how can I get better at it?
Yeah. And then like there's this moment where it's just like you see these two like sides of the spectrum where this girl is like unbelievably starstruck by this girl's skill, and at the same time you see the internal like just self-confidence drain that she has on herself from her own like mental health being degraded over the fact that she's put in so many hours and still doesn't feel as good as she is. She's getting praised by the person she competed with for years on end, like wasting her life. At least that's what she feels. And she doesn't know how to process it. She still has that imposter syndrome where it's like
I can't be the person that has that influenced you.
Mm-hmm.
So when they become partners and they join forces to actually work on something more than just a cool newspaper comic, that's where you get to see a lot of that imposter syndrome, but also
character dynamic between them both.
Yeah. We're gonna pause it right here real quick. But well, what we were saying, right? So it progresses on from there. They then become very fast friends. She gets emboldened by that fact that she's like regarded. She no longer like, because the whole thing about it was like, you're surrounded by people who aren't like you for most of your life and don't realize like what you put into your passion is like what you want to do. So she's constantly being berated, like, why are you always so in your papers and stuff like that? Why are you not like, you haven't hung out with us in forever? She finally meets someone, and it's the person she's been competing with forever. She doesn't know how to take it initially, but then she realizes, like, wait a minute. I just found like one of the only friends who I could possibly understand what I'm trying to do.
Yes.
And then they become fast friends. And from there, they work on just a home project to pitch and become like
shonen manga artists.
Yeah, shonen manga artists as a duo, the youngest to ever pitch and edit, apparently.
Yeah.
And they're like riding a great high. And this girl is like helping, while this girl is like while they're helping each other grow in the sense of being a business together, this girl is also, the main girl is also helping the shy girl come out of her shell.
Yeah.
And become like a person, because she's lived her whole life as a recluse, not understanding human contact and what it means to be a person outside of your art and take in value from life to take into your art as inspiration, you know?
Right. Especially given the fact that she's admired her for so many years since they were
Mhm.
kids, and to have went on this journey with her, I could imagine she felt almost too attacked.
Mhm.
Like her success is inherently indicative of her of the main woman, of main girl's success. Not to say
Mhm.
like there was animosity, but like, what am I doing for myself?
Yeah. And that leads into the central conflict, which I am not going to detail because
You want to save it?
I want to save it.
Yes.
But the whole of it is the question to be answered is, why do you do what you do? Why do you draw? Why do you make music? Why do you paint? Why do you do theater? Why do you stand up in front of a crowd and say what you want to say? Why do you do anything? And that's the question, at least in the artist's sense, that Look Back tries to answer. Because there's a lot of twists and turns in that movie, in that 1 hour sequence that you will never expect happens.
Yeah.
So I just say here and now, if you're not a fan of anime, if you're not a fan of animation, or if you haven't dabbled in it, or if you have dabbled in it, give it a try.
Yeah.
It's an amazing movie. It moved me. It moved me to want to get this podcast out to a degree. I can definitely say that for sure, because I don't think I was in the right headspace at the time. It was such a moving piece that it allowed me to realize like what I'm doing is for a purpose and not for anything, not for nothing, you know?
Absolutely. Let that be the enveloping moral with everything we talk about, which is just move with meaning, from features and songs to passion projects that you do. Really, I mean, from the things that inspire you as a artist, person, to, be who you are, but also do don't move accordance to what you assume the overall acceptance.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you need to make hard decisions to grow.
And they don't have to be, and hard decisions are not usually the most valuable.
And then, a movie like this definitely pours out a lot of what do we do, why do we do it, and more importantly, where do you want to go?
Mhm.
And I help after this episode, especially back with a newfound motivation on both regards, both of our ends. We can see what can come from this, which I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah. And I'm excited too. And with that, that is the end of the 3rd episode of the Media Minute.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
That was great. Honestly, I had a great.
Yeah, we hit I feel like we hit a lot of good conversation here, and I feel like, talking about it, the world is moving so fast. Like, look what happened within the past couple of days that we could barely cover in 2 hours. This is a long episode.
Yeah, they don't know, like you said. I mean, in their mind, in their eyes, this is just episode 3. But for us, it's like this was like a bit of a gap from production. So
period of understanding, and I feel like we streamlined it. We try to keep ourselves focused here, but you know, we're yappers, D1 yappers. That's how we roll. And if you don't like it, and you still got through the 2 hours.
True. This was quite the media minute, I must admit.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, come on. That
Truly, we are the Mateos.
We try.
And this was our media minute.
Thank you for stopping by. We'll hope to see you again soon, or hear you again soon.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and subscribe to the OVRLRDS channel. Like the video, leave a comment, discuss whatever you'd like. We are always listening, and we are always watching. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a great one. We'll see you next week.
Ciao. Au revoir.
Bye-bye.